Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that ScubaRadio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for ScubaRadio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ in the studio with me.
What's up, brother?
What's going on? So he's basking in the afterglow of his latest movie release of My Diver Vinny, which we had the world premiere of the trailer last week. Is it going to be made into a major motion picture? Is it everything already been shot? Or is that still
Yes.
in the process of
Sure.
the focus groups that were watching the trailer? And
I don't know. They don't include me in those meetings.
it's your first comedy, as opposed to just being an action star.
Yeah.
Cock Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, Cock Johnson's your name.
And diving's my game.
That's not how you do it, though, in
But
the movie.
I don't. The cool part about comedy is there's less stunts,
So you're saying you're getting old, and
so I don't
can't-
get hurt as much.
You can't tolerate, that strenuous activity anymore. So you've had to kind of loosen the requirements of your performance by going into comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comedy's easier.
And you picked Vinny Two Tanks as your trusty sidekick. Why? Because he was.
His name is Vinny.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
It had to be someone named Vinny.
Correct. Or Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei wouldn't cooperate in the part two. There you go. Vinny Two Tanks with us, despite the fact that he's a big time movie star now. Vinny, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine, and I am funny. I'll be a.
You're hilarious.
Yes.
If you say so yourself.
Self-proclaimed king of comedy.
Oh golly. Okay. Well, there's some other things in the works. I thought that was going to be the last big production of the year, but I know after last week's performance, despite the fact
Yeah, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. It might be a couple weeks, but there is something brewing.
there, and I don't know if Vinny is, he might be too expensive after the performance he shared with the world last week. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I didn't even have to talk or anything.
Well, we borrowed some voices.
that is true.
That
But
sounded just like me.
well, but it wasn't, was it? Because
Sorta.
if it was, we're going to pay him.
Sort of.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. And if you didn't see here, My Diver Vinny, the big movie premiere trailer last week, that was on the show. Today, we got a special guest, along with the ScubaRadio Scuba Squad, made up of Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut. Even Bubble Boy is connected remotely today because he just couldn't. He knew that Cock Johnson's head had gotten so big that he didn't want to share the same space.
Yeah, I like having all this space. I
Yeah.
can stretch out.
Well, he didn't want to share it. He just couldn't fit in there with him.
That's what I just said. His head was too big. The head of Cock Johnson.
Easy, Greg.
Dude,
Watch it.
dude.
Let's
What?
watch it.
Dude.
What?
Dude,
Dude, what is this?
Where's my car?
I mean,
I love it.
it's early yet for those
it-
comments.
Like
I don't- what are
within
you guys
minutes,
talking about?
he goes from golly to that.
I don't know what
Yes.
moving on. We
Yeah,
do
you
have
Yeah, you do.
Dr. Doug Ebersols. So we have EMTs on standby today. Not to perform any kind of medical services, which might become necessary knowing this crew. But he just got back from where? The Maldives? Is that right, Dr. Doug? What were you doing?
Yeah, we were in the Maldives for a week and then stopped by Dubai on the way home so I could dive the deep dive Dubai pool.
Oh, nice.
You got to tell us about that.
Yeah, the Deep Dive Dubai is isn't it the largest indoor dive pool in the world now? Isn't that what that's?
Yeah, the deepest. It goes to 60 meters, so 200 feet.
Sweet. All right, so let's start there first because obviously that's something unique, and we want to learn about the Maldives first. But you did that going over or on the way back.
We flew over, did a week-long live aboard in the Maldives first, and then came back through Dubai, spent a few days in Dubai on the way back home.
Awesome. Okay. So, Dubai is kind of like Vegas without the gambling, the ladies, the fun.
Or the alcohol.
Yeah.
No, they have the ladies. You just can't see them through the clothing.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, Vinny, he corrected me on that. That's fair. And but they do have this new attraction, or relatively new, called Deep Dive Dubai, right? That's the name of it, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
And Jared Jablonski, is he still the manager of that facility? I believe he is.
Yeah, whoever the Crown Prince or whoever it was brought him over. I think about 10 years ago they started working on this.
Right.
So Jared, who is the CEO of GUE, Extreme Exposure, and Halcyon Dive Systems, he basically lives over there now. He was nice enough to come by and say hi.
Cool.
When Carol and I checked in.
Nice guy.
So he's living over there now. It's an incredible facility. It's not just a 200-foot deep pool. It's you go in. It's very first class. They've got a coffee shop. They've got multiple viewing windows. They've got a full hyperbaric chamber where they do hyperbaric research. Like Frauke Tillmans from Dan has been over doing some research with some other people. They do training there now as well. So they do free dive training. They do recreational training. They do technical training. When I was there, they were doing one of their GUE rebreather instructor classes.
Wow.
And then they also have the, just customers kind of come in. There's a lot of social media people that want to kind of have their picture taken walking around, the typical kind of YouTubers or whatever.
Sure.
Saw one or two of those while I was there.
Yeah.
And then they have he told me in the off season, which we're just finishing the off season because it's so hot over there, they'll have maybe 50 people or so a day go through. And then in the prime season, there'll be 100 to 150 people a day go through the pool, which is a lot more than I would have thought.
Wow. Yeah, that is a lot. So, I mean, I assume they have all the gear you need. You don't bring any of your own stuff. Are they kind of strict on that, or do they?
You can. They don't let you bring your wetsuits. You can bring your own mask and fins if you want. If you don't want, you can bring, nothing.
Right.
I brought my mask and my fins and my rebreather, and then they supplied back mount doubles because we were doing 200 feet.
Wow.
So they supplied back mount doubles of Trimix, deco bottle, oxygen, sorb, and all the usual stuff.
So you went all the way to the bottom just because you're Dr. Doug Super Diver, right?
Well, I went to the bottom because it's there. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
That's the reason you go.
Yeah. Do they got a T-shirt you can buy after you do this? Like, hey, I did.
Well, they have the typical, T-shirt, typical shop on the way out. You can buy, whatever you want, but it's not like I dove 200 feet. It's more just like the Deep Dive Dubai kind of pool, kind of free advertising for them.
Right.
But it's a very kind of cool place. It's not just a deep, straight pool. Apparently, there's some flowing tree that some sort of prince or sultan or someone over there really liked. So they wanted to build that design into the pool. So it's kind of like a collapsed city. And there's this tree that kind of goes down all the way to the bottom. And then as you work your way up, there's little donuts that you swim through, and it'll be like an apartment building. There'll be, a kitchen and a bedroom and a library, and there's motorcycles and cars and foosball tables and pool tables and all kind of stuff as you kind of work your way up from the bottom. One of those is at 130 feet, something like that, maybe 30 meters or 40 meters. I think it's like 30 meters to 100 feet. And then there's another one up at like 18 meters, which is 60 feet. So they have, a recreational open water program for people that are open water certified, can go down to the 60-foot area where there's some swim throughs, one of those little donuts. If you're advanced open water, you can go down to the one at 90 feet or 30 meters. And then if you're Trimix, you can go all the way to the bottom. Cool. So that's kind of how they do it.
And
they have all the way videographer and all that.
All the way up and down, you can make faces at people through the glass, I assume, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's part of the one, is part of the big draws of those kind of things. It sounds pretty awesome. Well, Dr. Doug is our guest. He not only did the Dubai deep dive, he did the Maldives. We'll talk about that next. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Hola! You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a ScubaRadio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com. So cool. Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive. Take a look at it on the ocean floor. Just go down there, take your scuba gear and go down there. One of you would do that, I know. Ain't no egos, never egos, no egos underwater.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me, better known as Cock Johnson.
I want to go to that Dubai pool.
Yes. Dr. Doug Ebersol with us today as well, connected via the web, just back from Dubai and the Maldives. So Dubai deep dive, world's largest underwater or largest dive pool, I believe. Sounds pretty cool. I've seen plenty of videos of it. There's tons of stuff on YouTube. And like I say, you saw some YouTubers just walking around trying to stream and kind of act like they're a big deal. Is that when you were diving there, Dr. Doug, or what? What do you think? Yeah? Oh, I can't hear him. What happened? Where is he? Dr. Doug.
Sorry about that.
Yep,
yeah,
there you go.
There were two people doing that while we were there, just kind of walking around by the pool and taking video. I assume they were going to be going in the pool later and videoing themselves and stuff.
Right, right. Well, you know, that's what they do these days, these kids. They go to, and by the way, we're doing it. We're on X today and Instagram, by the way, on top of YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. So we've kind of increased our live stream.
There's no escaping us. You could try, but it's...
We will find you. We will hunt you down.
It's pointless.
And make you listen whether you want to or not.
That's right.
But we apologize in advance.
Do not resist.
Okay. Is that you or is that your alter ego? Are you sure? Are you real or are you AI? I can't tell.
I'm real.
You real?
Trust me.
Okay. Just checking. You're starting to sound like one of the cyborgs that are going to take over the world. But anyway, I digress. All right. So, Dr. Doug, you did the deep dive Dubai on the way back. And other than the cool, attractions underwater there, was there any other surprises? I mean, because you said it's not just a pool. They got all these cool things you can go explore while you're doing your dive at various levels.
It's a gimmick. It's a kind of a one and done kind of thing, unless you're doing some sort of training. But you could get on the motorcycles, get in the cars. You could play foosball.
Wow.
You could play pool. You know, kind of that kind of stuff. It's
Right.
you know, gimmicky stuff, but it was worth doing once.
Yeah, and it's freshwater too, right? I assume.
Right. Yeah, it's freshwater pool.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
that
you
sounds
basically
pretty
just
awesome.
walk in and you know do your checks and drop down and just kind of sort your way up. We were in the water about an hour, something like that. We had maybe 20 minutes of deco, something like that. But,
Is it all like? Do you have to be guided, or can you go out and explore on your own? It's all.
It's guided.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a guided dive.
Yeah.
They also have a control room where there's a guy with multiple cameras seeing what's going on everywhere in the pool.
Yeah.
So if there's an emergency, they can notify something. They actually have regulators stashed so that if somebody has a problem, there's gas pumped into the pool with regulators. So if somebody has an emergency, you know, they've got that taken care of. Like I mentioned, there's a hyperbaric chamber on site. So they've got every contingency taken care of.
Yeah. And if did you go in just with you and your wife as a buddy team, or were you part of a group, or what?
No, it was just me. It was just me and the guide.
Oh, okay.
Carol didn't go. She stayed out and kind of went to the coffee shop and shot, you know, video on her phone through the windows and that kind of stuff.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, you know, that sounds like a pretty cool stopover on your way to and from the Maldives, which, you know, when you're going from the States to the Maldives, Dubai is a very good option. I would assume you fly Emirates? Is that?
Yeah, we flew Emirates.
Because
which I would highly recommend.
Yeah, they do quite good.
They're phenomenal.
They make us U.S. Airplane carriers look like schlups. I mean, they're just slobs. I mean, we're trash. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we flew over and back on a double-decker plane.
Yeah.
So we're in business class up at the top, and there's actually a bar in the back. You could move out of your seats and go back, and there's a lounge with a bartender.
Awesome.
Serving drinks and snacks and stuff. It was very impressive.
Well, I bet. Yeah, there you go. You might as well, if you're going to fly that far and you can afford it, go for it. Because it'll surprise you how good a service it is to fly, you know, that far around the world. But Dubai is a great stop on the way to the Maldives. And you went there, did a live aboard. I've been there a couple times. I've actually even celebrated a birthday over there before. I love the Maldives tremendously. The water is just, I mean, it's kind of like Caribbean diving. It's warm water, but has the life and diversity of almost not quite the Galapagos, but boy, it's right up there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you see?
I always heard it kind of described as the Galapagos with warm water.
Yes, it's very much like that. I agree. And for me, when I've been, every single dive site was extremely different. I mean, it was like one dive we do, you see sharks. Another dive you see, it's a turtle dive. Another one, it's big schools of fish. Another one, it's, you know, manta rays, whale sharks. I mean, it was just wild how they seemed like when I've been there, Dr. Doug, they would have these different sites and they were all known for one particular type of, you know, kind of big animal type encounter. Is that what you had?
Animal.
Yeah. Did you encounter that or what?
Yeah, we did most or at least a lot of the dives were reef hook kind of dives for the current. But there was like dives that were for sharks. There were dives for manta cleaning stations. We had like 9 mantas on a cleaning station.
Wow.
We had a night dive for mantas with, I don't know, 4 or 5 mantas coming through like you do in Hawaii. We had schools of sharks, including a guitar shark, and as well
guitar
as
shark.
Yeah.
No, what does that look like? A guitar?
You've seen them.
They look like a guitar. Yeah, the head is kind of wide and flat, kind of like a ray. So we had a guitar shark along with hammerhead, along with gray reefs and black tips and a bunch of other kind of stuff. So sharks on one dive. We had a nurse shark dive where they must have had, I don't know, 20 or 30 nurse sharks kind of all over you.
Nice.
And then, you know, a couple of wrecks, and we had small stuff. You know, we saw pipefish and saw nudibranchs, you know, on top of all the big stuff. And one place, like you mentioned, was a turtle dive. There's a place where the hawksbill turtles like to eat the particular coral on this one reef. So you go up and see a ton of hawksbill turtles on this one reef. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it.
Was this your first visit to the Maldives, or have you been there before?
We had a trip booked during COVID that we canceled. So we had just kind of rescheduled it for a few years later with some friends. We had, there were 5 of us in our group. We're going to be 7, but one guy got over there and his Achilles tendon flared up and he wasn't able to dive, so they flew home. So we're going to have 7 on the boat. We ended up with 5 on the boat. and then a bunch of some German people we met and some Spaniards we met, and so that a real good time.
Yeah. I mean, when I've been there too, I was like the minority as well. I mean, me and our mermaid at the time, it was Tony, actually. We were the only Americans on the boat, and I didn't know how that was going to go, but we ended up having a huge cultural experience that was really, really cool. And
Yeah,
met
we
some
were the
really
only
interesting
Americans on the boat.
folks. Yeah, same
Yeah,
thing, huh? That's kind of
the only
nice.
Americans. There's a couple
little
of
different.
couple of Brits. There was a family of like 7 people from Spain, 3 or 4 people from Germany. So it was fun. We had a real good time. Good cultural exchange.
Well, there you go. Sounds like he gives it 2 fins up. I'm gonna predict that, and we'll get the official rating after the break. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
This is better than porn. It's like porn and Shark Week combined.
He's got no legs to kick it with, and he's got no arms to swim with. But nonetheless, he is a scuba diver man, and he's doing the best he can. Scuba diver man, doing the best he can. Scuba diver man, scuba diver man, scuba diver man, scuba diver man, scuba diver man.
His brain ain't right, but it's fun.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, a.k.a. Scuba Diver Man. That's fine, too. We got Dr. Doug Ebersol with us. Just got back from Dubai. Did the Dubai deep dive on his way back from the Maldives, which is amazing diving. And that, I mean, if you've never been, I would say easy top 5, at least in the top 5 places you could go around the world. Would you agree with me, Dr. Doug, after you've been there now, or what
Absolutely.
do you say? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. I'd put it at number 1, but boy, it's right up there because, yeah, the diversity of the dive sites are pretty remarkable, and the water temps are pretty consistent year round. And what kind of water temp did you have? What do you?
I think we were 84, 85.
Okay,
something like that.
It's bathwater diving.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Was it pretty hot in Dubai? That was the only thing.
It wasn't terrible. It was Florida. You know, it was in the 90s.
Okay.
They said though in July, I've not been there obviously before, but in July, August when it's hot, it was like 50 to 52 Celsius, which is like 132 degrees.
Yes.
So that would not be my preferred time to go visit.
I went there and it was kind of warm. Yeah. You go out after dark and it was tolerable, but other than that, I didn't really like it that much. But I didn't get to do the pool thing. They didn't have it when I went. So
we did the deep. We went to the Dubai Mall, which is like ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
Hung out there for a few hours, and then went to the Burj Khalifa, the tallest tallest building in the world, 150 whatever floors high or something.
It's quite a spectacle. Cool. Yeah, that thing. But yeah, to me, it's like Vegas without the fun, and that's not.
I don't know. That sounds pretty fun.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they parked his car for him.
what do you mean they parked his car for him, Vinny? What are you
I
trying?
think at the malls you pull up and they have a automatic parking lot, and it just automatically parks your car.
Well, I don't,
That's pretty cool. We didn't drive. We just did Ubers. So
yeah. I mean, that's that mall, though. When I went there, they had all kinds of fancy cars out in front that, because they're filthy rich there in that part of the world. So there's Maseratis and Lamborghinis and everything, and they're all lined up right there in the parking lot in front of the mall. And you're like, whoa, this is a little different experience. And then you walk in the mall, and it's like, hey, I'm in America. They got every store we got. And then some.
And more.
Yeah.
And more.
It's nuts. It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And they got an aquarium in the mall there, I believe, too. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and an art museum.
Yeah. Go figure. Yeah.
And if you're a Dubai citizen, if you pass away, the king pays for your burial. How about that?
How does he know?
I don't know.
That's a random fact.
I read a lot.
Yeah. Are you
No, it's
considering?
true.
Are you thinking you might want to relocate there, Vinny?
I just was amazed at all the those people with they have an amazing lifestyle because of all the oil.
Vinny's just trying to find a place to die is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, to pay for the funeral.
Yeah, what we found was interesting. It's only about 15% of the population is actually from the UAE. The other 85% are expats from other countries.
Right. Yeah, but you can't get booze. You can't get drinks there. Yeah, that's
Is
why
it
I said-
outlawed? Is that why?
Yeah, I think, right? Is it still that way? It's totally dry or what? Dr. Doug, do you know?
I don't think it's totally dry. I mean, when we went to the Burj Khalifa, they were passing out drinks and stuff. So
Okay, well,
but I think it's a little bit loosened compared to some of the other Arab countries.
Yeah. Well, I just remember when I went, it was like Vegas without the shows, without the booze. And I was kind of like, well, what are you supposed to do other than look at the pretty lights and stuff, which was impressive. And I did like it.
The architecture is great.
Yeah, it was. You can wander around for hours, but I was kind of like, it did remind me a lot of Vegas, and without, like I said, the fun. And fun is kind of a subjective term, depending on your perspective. But yeah, I mean, you got to mark it off the list. It might be your thing. But now that they got,
And they have a ski resort. You can go to an indoor ski place. You can, jump out of airplanes. You can do Jeep tours in the desert. There's, a wide variety of different things to do.
Right.
I felt bad in our hotel the last day we saw a young guy on crutches, and he apparently broke his femur, had to have surgery, getting off a paddleboard at the beach of our hotel.
What, in Dubai?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that happened.
It's right. Our hotel's on the water, so he guess he was at the beach and on a paddleboard, and somehow stepped off the paddleboard and broke his leg, broke his femur, had to go to surgery and have it pinned.
Well, go figure.
Wow.
Well, that's unfortunate, but he'll have a good story.
Exactly.
For years to come. All right. Well, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, but you definitely give the Maldives, as far as your trip there, 2 fins up. I'm right on that, assuming from how you described it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
we had kind
really
of a
nice.
rough topside weather. Just the front was kind of coming through, but we weren't there for the topside weather anyway.
Yeah.
It was kind of, as opposed to the brochure of blue sunny skies and flat calm seas, we had gray and rain and wind. And
yeah,
we had one day that we had 4 to 6 foot seas and the wind was blowing. They said they clocked it at 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
Wow. Okay.
So that made it a little sporty to get back on the boat with a rebreather and a big camera.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, so you were doing the rebreather thing, so you really maximized your bottom time while you're there.
Yeah,
in the
we had
Maldives.
3 of us on rebreathers. It didn't. I mean, we escaped the same profile as everybody else.
Yeah.
But it just, it's warm, as you know, it's warm, moist gas and all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
It was the new Go rebreather. It only weighs 10 pounds to travel, so it was pretty easy to use.
All right. Well, and then did you see all the other liveaboards? Because they have a lot in that part of the
there's a ton.
world. It's
there's a ton of them.
It's a lot different kind of vibe than what you get in a lot of different places in the world. I mean, that's the main way they like to dive there, is cruise around the Maldives and all these and fancy
It wasn't quite as bad
liveaboards,
as the rafting up of all of them that you and I saw when we did the Red Sea.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't quite
different.
like that, but there were still quite a few of them around.
Well, I think it's a little bit more upscale.
Yeah.
It can be pretty expensive in the Maldives if you want to go there, especially if you want to do one of their fancy liveaboard deals. I mean, the liveaboards are actually quite a good value compared to the land-based places there in the Maldives. For whatever reason, it's really expensive.
And as you know, what's really nice is they have the whatever, 140, 150 foot boat you live on, and then the 60 something foot boat that you dive off of.
Right.
So you have a 60-foot dive boat that you're diving the sights off of, and then you come back to the mothership, and they take care of all your gear and all that kind of stuff as usual. It's just,
it's another
definitely
level.
Concierge diving.
Exactly.
Did you see any mantas?
We saw tons of mantas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 9 at one. I had 9 in one frame.
That's awesome.
At a cleaning station.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the times I've been to the Maldives, like I said, you see pretty much everything. They got mantas. Yeah, you can do the whale shark thing, right? Did you have any whale sharks on your trip?
It was the seas were too rough, to see the real whale sharks on the surface. So we've seen whale sharks before, but that's the one thing we didn't see. But yeah, there's mantas, sharks, turtles, eagle rays, stingrays, whatever. And then as well, obviously the usual stuff, the cute anemone fish and schools.
Did you see any crown of thorns?
And so forth.
I don't know, crown of thorns, maybe.
Did you see any of those? I think they have a problem there with them, don't they?
We didn't see any crown of thorns at all.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only starfish I saw were some pillow stars and then some regular, just small starfish.
Yeah, the only thing you don't get in
crown of thorns stuff.
the Maldives that you maybe in the Galapagos are the penguins, the iguanas.
It's kind of warm.
And the turtles, the topside tortoises and the Galapagos.
Yeah, so you're giving up that.
Snorkeling with the penguins is cool there.
Right, but you also get much warmer water, and it's a little bit more on the tropical side of us warm water wusses, so that wins out for me for sure. But good stuff, great stuff. Now, why do people dive? We came across a podcast this week featuring Jim Brewer. Old CJ is a big fan, and he was listening to his podcast, and they started talking about scuba diving and why you dive. We're going to talk about that next. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
One of the great things about being on location when you're shooting Survivor is that when you have a day off, you have the ocean to go play in. A few seasons back, we had an afternoon off, so I decided to go scuba diving with Maria Sundin, one of our producers, and Mark Burnett, the executive producer of Survivor, The Apprentice, Rockstar. So, we get out there, everybody gets on the boat, there's a whole big group of us, we all get suited up, we get in the water, we're with our dive master, Pete, and we all start to go down.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Survivor just kicked off their latest season, like 47 or some crazy stuff. And they've been filming the last few years in Fiji. They have a permanent residence there on one of the islands in Fiji. And we're talking to them to see if there's any chance that we could go and create havoc. And so far, they haven't responded. Surprising?
You want to be on the show?
No, hell no. I don't want to be eaten up by bugs and crap like that. But would I love to just be a fly on the wall and watch them make fools of themselves while they're filming that show? That'd be fun. And plus, you're in Fiji.
Here, drink this kava. It's good.
Yeah. But I don't know if you didn't know that, the last, I think, at least 4 or 5 seasons of Survivor have been shot in Fiji. And for the, immediate future, I think they're staying right there. I mean, if you didn't know that, now you do. You're a little bit more informed as a scuba diver. Okay, so that's what we do sometimes on this show, is try to stay informed of what the world and how they're looking at us as a industry, as an activity. And CJ was watching, or you're watching the podcast for Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
Brewerverse, is that what it is? Bruniverse. And it had that guy, David Cross, right?
There you go.
Okay, so David Cross, comedian. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Jim Brewer, comedian. They're talking amongst themselves, and scuba diving gets brought up. It goes something like this.
I like to scuba dive, so I've been to the Blue Hole.
Huge. Love scuba
Have you
diving.
been to the Blue Hole in Belize? It's a really special experience, especially if you like diving, because you're going,
Love it.
You're going straight down basically over time. You have to keep acclimating or whatever, but that's the furthest down I've gone, and you start to lose the color, a little bit, and you're with the sharks. You're going along the wall down, and there's just sharks everywhere, tons of sharks, and it's beautiful.
And to me, that's the most beautiful thing. People are so freaked out by it, but I go, you don't understand. They're not hunting you.
No,
so you were
right. They're different. They're docile, basically, and
exactly.
But scuba diving, I find to be, if not the most peaceful. I mean, you can have the nicest massage in the world. You can be super high. You can be whatever, but nothing is more peaceful and physically and spiritually than scuba diving.
I will highly agree with you in that. Some people go, oh, aren't you claustrophobic? I'm like, no. The minute I'm in the water and the minute I start floating down, it's just like you said, I cannot describe the peace that you feel. It's such, aren't you afraid? No, not afraid whatsoever.
There you go. I think they nailed it.
Yeah, I would say just super chill fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, my opinion of those two just went up a notch or two just because now I know they're fellow scuba divers.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was bored and I was watching it on YouTube and all of a sudden I perked up.
Yeah.
I went, hey, that's
you know,
cool.
when you become a diver and then you find there's some, celebrity or whatever that does it too and like, hey, I'm just like them.
Yeah, if this show was worth a crap, you'd book them on to talk about it.
Right.
They probably love to.
You know what? They probably would, but that'd mean we'd have to call people, go through their people, have them talk to our people. A lot of trouble.
We don't have people. It's just you.
Jim, David, if you're listening, just give us a call because we don't want to put that much effort into it.
You're lazy. But think how great this show could be if you weren't so lazy.
Yeah, well, there's that. But hey, the fact that they're part of our team, I mean, I think it's good. And I think they nailed it. I do. I mean,
they're part of our tribe.
Yes. And I will tell you, I think that is one of the biggest appeals of scuba diving, especially after you get really comfortable in the water as a diver. That peaceful, Zen-like feeling. I mean, I describe it as getting into the zone, especially like
auto zone.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Totally different zone. But when
What's
you go on a
famous for?
You go on a liveaboard trip, and like the first dive will be a little, everyone's getting acclimated to their gear and maybe haven't dove in a while. The first dive usually is, just, the crew has to know what your skill level is, and they're watching you, and it can be a little, I don't know, testy or anxious because it's been a while. But for as soon as you get comfortable,
I'm not. As soon as I get underwater, I'm like, there we go.
Well, I mean,
there we go.
That second or third dive, once you get into the routine, you can really get into the zone and just, cruise. I mean, what I'll do is I'll just cruise out over a wall. Like if we're doing a bunch of sites with a wall, and I'll just cruise out over into the blue water.
That's why we call
you by myself.
Pink Floyd.
You call me that, really?
Yeah, because you like the wall.
Okay, thank you. You are the funny one.
He is.
So, but that's where I find my peace when I'm diving, and I do. I totally get that. I can't think of anything more relaxing than that. Now, people get into diving for different reasons. So, is it do you get into it for the adventure, CJ, or is it like to find that Zen-like moment of meditation, like these guys were describing?
All the above.
Yeah, it just depends on the dive.
If you see something cool. If not, it's just relaxing and awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Brewer is talking about seeing the sharks and how they don't phase them. When you see the sharks, you're not necessarily in that Zen moment because you're like, whoa, shark, sweet, and the adrenaline might be pumping.
It just makes me smile.
Yes, definitely. You find your happy place. What do you think, Vinny? Why do you dive? Is it for the peace?
I dive with all the reasons you guys gave, but I also like the fact there's somewhat of a challenge to it because once you go down, or like flying a plane, you got to get back to the ground. When you dive, you got to get back to the surface. So there is an element of
cheating death.
Being able to control yourself to pay attention to all the things you got to think about.
Okay.
Besides enjoying the relaxing dive.
I like it. Casey the tobacco nut, who kind of looks like a pilgrim today. I think he's dressing up for Halloween.
I did the whole Halloween thing, but Vinny didn't even show up with a pumpkin, so I'm done with it.
Oh, my God, that's right. Where's the pumpkin?
Well, why am I the guy that always has to have the pumpkin, man?
Well, you started it.
Oh.
It's tradition at this point.
You've always been the guy with the pumpkin.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, come on now.
The great pumpkin.
Oh, how disappointing.
I just don't go out very much anymore. I stay home all the time.
So good way,
homeboy.
Casey Tobacco Nut. That was a very good divert from the fact that he's wearing some pilgrim hat.
He looks like the first pimp.
Well, here the full effect? Here, we can put the glasses back on.
Okay, that makes no difference.
Looks like
what? A goof?
An undertaker.
An idiot.
Undertaker.
Moron. Okay.
The full effect will be an Undertaker. Yes,
oh, Undertaker. Okay, that's.
I got it.
A day of the event.
Okay. Well, what? Because
I dive just for the peace and enjoyment of hopefully seeing something new every dive. Be it a shark, an octopus.
Yeah.
Something I haven't seen on the last dive.
Yeah, exploration, the discovery of something new. Right. And Jerry the Diver guy.
The Zen definitely enters into it.
Did he say Zen or Zit?
I don't know.
Zen.
Okay.
He is a Zit.
All right. Well, Jerry the Diver guy, he's on location someplace, but lo and behold, we're out of time for this hour. So
damn it.
We're going to have to carry him through to hour 2 and find out why he dives. Is it for peace? Is it for adventure? Is it for discovery? Is it for the fact that he likes the cool, clear water rushing over his nether regions? Stay tuned. Hour 2 is coming up.
On the boat and down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. We're going to circle back and find out why you dive. We're talking about this podcast from Jim Brewer and I guess he had on. They were talking about how peaceful it was to go dive. How you get into that meditative state, and that was one of the big draws for them to learn how to dive and partake in our favorite activity. I assume that is the case if you're listening to Scuba Radio. It makes sense, right? And we'll get back to that in just a bit. But before we do, we got to circle back, or we got to check in with our buddy Tom Ingram, who is the Big Cheese, Big Kahuna, Grand Poobah of DEMA, the Diving Equipment and Marketing Association. Tom, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. So why do you dive? I'll just throw that at you too, because you know.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I got started when I was a little kid, and I love going back under and seeing all this stuff, of course. But what usually drives me is I like to take pictures underwater, so I
That's
keep
right.
going back for more. I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, topside too. I mean, I got the pictures right here to prove it. He emailed me a couple pictures from his latest topside adventure. Check this out, CJ.
I saw that. Is that a moose?
Actually,
It
there's
is a
more than
moose.
one, so it's meese, isn't it?
Mises.
I don't know.
Moosin.
But yeah, where was that? You took some pictures of moose where?
Yeah, so we were in the South Hills in Idaho. So it's about 2 hours south of Boise. And up in the mountains, there's a pond, and these moose just kind of gather there early in the morning.
that's
so went
awesome.
out there,
There you go.
kind of camp out and take pictures of them.
Well, those are impressive.
How close
photos.
were you, or was this like a zoom lens?
I was shooting with an 800 millimeter lens, so I'm probably 75 yards away.
Okay,
Well,
good.
just enough. These moose.
They look like they could wreck your day.
Well, we talked about this a few weeks ago because I went to Australia. I went to Alaska, where we saw some moose, and I was thinking we had to be on the lookout for grizzly bears, but they were like, no, moose. You don't get too close to the moose because they'll stomp you to death.
They will.
They've had all kinds of crazy incidents, way worse than like sharks and things that we deal with as divers and the various oceans. So I don't know. Go figure. Moose are way more potentially, unpredictable and dangerous, evidently.
They're big, and when they have their calves with them, you really want to be careful.
Yeah,
So,
you don't want to get too close to them. They get protective, and I'll just stomp you. That's what I'll do. And it sounds pretty
That must
grisly.
be fun. Must be great to be a moose.
Yeah.
See
well,
somebody you don't like, just stomp them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Could
just
do
name
that.
you Bullwinkle.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
that's
could do
right.
that. That's very possible. But all right, well, let's get back on track here, Tom, because you didn't want to just talk about moose. We want to talk about the dive
That's
show,
for
the
Moose
big
Radio.
diving event happening next month in November,
right.
middle of November in Vegas. We got the big DEMA show. Really looking
Yes.
forward to it. What can you tell us? How things are evolving for the big show this year?
Well, it's going great. November 19th through the 22nd in Las Vegas in the South Hall, and we're doing really well from the standpoint of sales. Our exhibit space sales are about the same as they were in New Orleans from last year, and registration is as well. So we're really looking forward to folks kind of gathering there. We've got sort of an unusual Las Vegas this year because the Formula One race is going on starting on that Friday, which is the 22nd. And they're actually doing their qualifying runs during that time. And the race itself is on the 23rd on Saturday. So we were fortunate enough to be able to book all of our hotel spaces way early, several years ago, actually before they even announced the race. So we still have some hotel rooms left. It's really away from the race itself, the convention center and the hotels that we have. But that deadline is coming up pretty soon for folks if they are interested in coming to the show. The early bird deadline is Monday, October 21st, and that's also the deadline for being able to register for the hotels through DEMA. After that, you'd have to go straight to the hotels.
Yeah.
And you lose the cheaper rate.
Yeah, and by the way, the rates they have for DEMA are really good. I mean, they're good anytime for Vegas, to be honest. But when you consider the races going on, starting that Friday, which is the last day of DEMA, and if you want to hang over, you could actually do quite well and watch some of the race stuff if you want and save quite a bit of money if you book through the DEMA block before Monday. After that, who knows? I mean, you might still find some reasonable deals. Like you said, the Westgate Resort is the host hotel and over by the convention center, and that is like a mile or so away from where the Formula One race is. So there's been a lot of chatter over the last year, like, oh, this is going to be a mess. It's far enough away where I don't think it's going to really be an issue much at all, right, Tom?
No, yeah, that's correct. I don't see it as a problem at all. Someone that wants to go out on the Strip is probably going to run into more traffic and that kind of thing. But there's also really good transportation.
They got the monorail.
Yeah, with the monorail there. So,
or the
really,
Elon Musk tunnel. You got
That's
that
right.
option too. They
So
got the electric
lots of ways to move
vehicles.
around.
Yeah,
That's right. Lots of ways to move around. So it's still possible to do that without too much trouble. And of course, we don't want you to leave the area anyway. We want you back at the show. So come on back in and take advantage of all the exhibitors that are there. We've got some great companies that are going to be in. Of course, most folks that come to the show want to see the brand new equipment that's out, and that's exactly what you'll find. Same thing with seeing all the new services that are out. So with the training organizations and so forth, typically introduce a lot of new things during DEMA show. There's also I know Patty's got their course director update going on, and some of the other training organizations do as well. And so lots of activity going on, and we've got some great guests that are coming this year. You're probably familiar with Liz Parkinson, who is a stunt woman who has done some things. She was involved in a number of the films,
Avatar movies. Yeah,
Avatar movies. That's right. And Megan Haney Greer is also coming with her, and that's on Thursday, November the 21st at 1 p.m. We're going to have those folks talk about their experiences.
They've asked me to MC that
Hollywood.
session. Did you know that, Tom?
I didn't know that.
See?
But I'm not surprised.
I probably shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah,
they're going to cancel me now for sure.
They've called on you to try to keep us organized. Somebody's got to.
Well, I don't know about that, but they've asked me to get in the middle of these two and see if I can, create some trouble. So I guess that's the role I'm supposed to play. Keep things moving.
You're really good at that. You're really good at that. So.
Okay. I don't know if that's a compliment, but whatever. That's fine.
We'll just let that go on by.
Exactly. That's fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Liz and Megan are good friends of ScubaRadio, and yeah, they reached out to me and said, could I help them out a little bit with that? I said, absolutely. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be very informative. They're both super accomplished divers and have done a lot to help grow the sport with their platforms that they've had in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And it just sounds cool. It's just a cool thing.
Yeah, lots of fun. Liz was with us last year in New Orleans, and it was standing room only, and just lots and lots of fun, lots of cool stuff going back and forth. We've got some other things that are happening too at the show that I think people will be interested in. You're probably all aware of the issues that we've had from a federal government standpoint, where we've had a law that was passed that's caused our insurance market to break.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about that after the break with Tom Ingram from DEMA. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
How, when, and where it's made has never been more important than now. Just ask all those divers and dive shops that struggled to get products and parts during the pandemic. One relatively new gear manufacturer, however, managed quite well. Nex is one of the few, if not only, dive gear manufacturers to bring regulator and design assembly back to the USA. No shortages during the pandemic for their customers and dealers. And get this, Nex was a Tester's Choice winner in Scuba Lab for 2022 and a Best Buy in 2023. Each Next regulator system is made to order, cutting down on overhead and allowing you to get exactly what you need for the kind of diving you prefer. This will be the last regulator you'll ever need, since the modular design can easily be modified as your diving skills and preferences evolve over time. Are you ready to make your next dive your best dive? Then go to nextdive.com. That's nexdive.com. Next Underwater Products. nextdive.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Never underestimate the power of the sea, because the sea will take you down. Jacques Cousteau.
The sea, the sea, the sea is such a salty, magic place.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ in the studio with me. We got Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey Tobacco Nut, Bubble Boy, and mixed amongst the chaos, our special guest right now, Tom Ingram from DEMA, and talking about some of the cool things going on at the DEMA show this year in Vegas, middle of November. And by the way, we're talking about how the Formula One race is happening at the end of the show. So the DEMA show in Vegas is going to be in the convention center there from Tuesday to Friday. And then on Friday, they have the preliminaries of the Formula One race. So there's a little overlap, but not really. And it's about a mile away from the convention hall. Do what I'm doing. I'm flying out a couple days before DEMA to avoid the race chaos, to be honest. And then I'm flying out right after the show on Friday night. Now, you can do that and spend a couple days to play in Vegas, on the strip, like Monday and Tuesday, Sunday and Monday is what I'm going to do. And then do the show, because there's a bunch of stuff going on during the show. And then you get out before, the crowds come in for the race, or you pass them on the way into Vegas, you pass them on the way out, or you could stay and enjoy the race. It's up to you, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I got a plan.
Man with a plan.
And some people consider me a man. All right, so Tom, do I got the right plan? You agree with that approach, or what do you think?
I think it's absolutely right. I'm doing exactly the same thing, except I don't get to play. I have to
yeah, you got to prepare
the show, so
yeah.
I got to work.
Well, I do too. I'm just giving myself one full day to play, Vegas tourist. Stumble down the strip with Jerry the Diver Guy.
Lose all your money.
Try to stay out of the traffic. Don't stumble into an oncoming vehicle, that kind of thing.
Yeah, lose his money and his dignity.
What, Jerry will?
I know how this works. I know how this works.
He knows, Jerry. He knows his
Well,
me. I got a system.
He knows there'd be no losing no money with me because I don't gamble.
Oh, that's a lie. He's
Except
a lie.
with his life. No, hey, Jerry.
unless I put $20 in for free drinks.
Jerry, are you going to bring your Elvis suit? Don't you have that Elvis jumpsuit?
No, we had a wardrobe malfunction last time we wore that at DEMA.
That was a long time ago. You haven't had that fixed?
Yes, we don't want to have another wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, you're older and smaller now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you shouldn't have any malfunction.
It's going to be a malfunction, Greg. Trust me.
That sounds
planned.
That sounds like a threat. All right, I'm just going to move on. Okay, so some of the other things going on at the DEMA show. I mean, we talked about the the seminars, like the one with Liz and Megan Heaney Greer about stunt, diving, or Hollywood, and how they incorporate diving activities into the movies and all that. It's very entertaining stuff to listen to. But there's some real serious things going on in the industry. You mentioned the Dive Boat Act that I know DEMA's been at the forefront of trying to get the industry and stakeholders in our industry to contact their legislative representatives in Congress because we got a problem with like dive boat insurance. And this may be a little bit in the weeds for people that aren't actually in the business, but this affects us all, right, Tom?
It does, because it's causing prices to go up everywhere. We've had one boat operator, for example, that has 2 boats in Florida, and his liability insurance went up $100,000 in a year.
Wow.
And it's just crazy because unfortunately the Congress passed a law really without knowing what the heck they were doing, and they unfortunately broke the insurance market, extended the look back period to 2 years. And of course, insurance is renewed on an annual basis. So the insurance companies, in order to accommodate the risk, have to increase prices. And it's created a real problem for everybody. And it's kind of funneling through the entire industry and causing costs to go up. So DEMA's got a lobbyist, and we've been working and on a federal level trying to help to sort of guide the Congress back in the right direction on this stuff. And I think we're doing okay with it. And our lobbyist will actually be at the show, and she's going to be doing a presentation on sort of navigating the politics, giving folks in the industry a little bit of an idea of what's required in order to pull this kind of stuff off. And she's been really good. She's been very helpful for us, a good spokesperson. And works well with staff members and lawmakers alike. So that's been really good. We've got another 25 presentations that are going on during the show that are business related. Another one of those that's really important is a good friend of yours, Greg, and that's Bob Harris, who's going to be in talking a little bit about some of the stuff that takes place in the state of Florida, which is a bellwether state for us as an industry. And so he's going to be talking about some really exciting things going on. The SS United States, which is an old cruise liner that was also a troop carrier back in the day. And it looks like we're going to be able to sink it as an artificial reef. So we're excited about that. Yeah,
that'll be the largest one in the world of its kind, right?
It will.
Yeah.
It will. And so everybody's excited about that one. Bob's going to come in and talk a little bit about that. And some of the guys that are working on the United States are going to be there as well. And he's also going to talk a little bit about an event that we have coming up in April, on April the 16th, 2025. And that's Dive-In Day at the Capitol. So we'll be in Tallahassee at the Capitol building, and an opportunity for DEMA members to participate with doing displays and talking to lawmakers and kind of helping to push the United States and some other things over the finish line.
Yeah.
So
that's good stuff. Yeah. I mean, that event, I mean, it's very enlightening to kind of see how things operate because, a lot of times the lawmakers, whether it's on the national or state side, they just don't really understand, how some of the, rules that they pass affect the dive industry, let alone divers individually. And obviously it filters down, especially on the insurance thing, like you said, and just getting in front of them and talking to them like, hey, I'm a diver, and you find out maybe some of them do, or, they play out on the water with fishing boats or whatever. But just getting in front of them and explaining them, hey, this rule you're considering making is going to affect the industry and drive our prices up and make it very difficult for us. And we need people on the front line, which DEMA helps facilitate, to make sure they don't do anything stupid, which is kind of hard when they're politicians. So, that's why you kind of have to get involved sometimes, right? Right, Tom?
That's correct. And I'm going to reserve comment on that because
I said it, you didn't.
There we go. It's the perfect foil. I appreciate that.
Well, you got it. That's why I'm here. I'm here to take the shots, and you take the credit. All right.
There we go.
All right. DEMAshow.com. Go there. Make sure make your plans for the big event next month. And Tom, we will see you there. Look forward to it, my friend.
Thank you so much, Greg. Good to talk to you. You guys take care. Talk to you soon.
Here, Tom.
Stay away from the moose. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Welcome back. The votes are in. The second singer of Group A to get unmasked is... Who is it?
This is really tough. No, it doesn't get easier.
The Diver.
Oh, poor Diver! Diver's so sad. I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I.
And keep it going for The Diver.
Yes, I'm going to keep it going. Right here as we continue this goofy little show we do called Scuba Radio for the divers all around the world. I am Greg the Dive Master. And, whether it's the Masked Singer or whether it's Jim Brewer talking about scuba diving, I think it's a win. It's a win for our industry. And we're talking about why do you dive? That's what they brought up. They said they dive because it's so peaceful. They love going diving and getting into that like Zen like state. And, I do that. I'll go over a wall, just act like I'm flying off the edge of a wall. And, man, I'm in the zone. That's definitely why I dive. We CJ agreed. And you kind of like the adventure.
You might as well ask me why I breathe.
Okay, that's one way to look at it for sure. And we went around the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad, asked them, even got Tom Ingram from DEMA to give us his thoughts. We haven't got to Jerry the Diver guy, so maybe should we ask him?
Nobody cares!
No, I think we should. We should.
Nobody cares!
No, why does Jerry the Diver guy die?
Nobody cares!
I think I care. I care. I do
We've
care.
got production value, ladies and gentlemen.
We love you, Jer. So why do you dive? I'll let you.
I love you too.
I love you too. Okay.
So you can go underwater with Barry.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Damn you, Casey.
His lava.
Barry's not here to defend himself, so
that's just dirty.
Casey is just standing in and saying what Barry would say.
I haven't fired the first shot yet.
Okay.
But it's game on now.
Can we go back to the tape, please?
Oh, why? Is there some chatter going on during the commercial breaks that we don't want to discuss?
No.
Okay, we won't then. Let's just talk about why you dive. Why is it, Jerry? Is it the peacefulness? Is it the adventure? Is it something else? What?
Of course, it's the Zen moments and the peacefulness of it. And plus, I love the adventure.
Yeah.
But the main important reason is I like how the warm water runs across my nether regions.
I knew it.
Oh.
I called it.
You had to plant the seed.
Is that Vinny groaning?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
I agree with Vinny.
Y'all just remember, whoever's behind me gets all that warm water after me.
So you're the catcher, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not the catcher. You all are.
Oh, wait.
That's why.
I seem to remember Jerry saying he never peed in his wetsuit.
I never do. And never have.
Okay.
I think you just said you do.
No, I said that warm water running over my nether regions. Not the warm water coming out of my nether
You're making me
regions.
not want to dive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry has said for the record he does not pee in his wetsuit. I don't know if I agree with him.
Fire!
But that doesn't mean he doesn't. He didn't say he didn't poop.
Okay,
well,
Greg.
There might be a punami here or there.
There it is.
God.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Are you going to answer it for give us a real answer? Or is that all you're going to give us?
No, it is the peaceful moments. I mean, being able to get away from everything and having a nice little adventure. And, it's just that Zen moment. You just get to tune everything out.
Yeah. If everybody dove, we wouldn't have any wars because nobody could hear you bitching at each other.
That's true.
That's true.
So I've said that for years. I think there's actually some real truth to that. Bubble Boy, what about you? What is it about diving?
Mine's going to be 180 degrees opposite of Jerry's. There's a lot of other hobbies I've tried and daily activities of life that are constantly interfered with by my enlarged prostate. And I've been trying to find a bathroom every 15 minutes. It ruins the whole thing. But with diving, I can just let it go.
You can let it flow.
Going.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Just let it go.
I did not see that one coming.
That was 180 degrees, pretty much.
So what he just said was he liked the warm
degrees.
water running over his prostate.
No, what he's trying to say is
running through it.
Do not swim
Don't follow
downstream of Bubble Boy. That's what.
Yeah.
Always be upstream.
Yes.
Especially in the river in Dominica. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
All right, let's not bring that up
Let's
again.
not bring up the brown trout.
No brown trouts, please.
Okay, Vinny, did we cover this with Vinny? Vinny just
went to school of minnows.
I said I like the challenge. I like the fact that
that's right. Yeah,
you got to get back to the surface. So there's always that element of
death.
I could
die. You got to control. You got to be able to control
Conquer
your fear
death.
if something goes wrong.
Vinny's all about conquering death. I get it.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, if you die in Dubai, the prince will pay for your burial.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They throw you under a sand dune.
If you're a citizen of Dubai, they actually pay for
what if you're not? What do they do? Just throw you out in the garbage?
I think you have to pay. I don't think.
They use it for chum.
Chuck you overboard.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if you die in Dubai, the prince gets all of your gear. There's no sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right. There's that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's.
What about Casey? Did you ask Casey yet?
No, we don't care.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we did. No, we did. He said he does it for the Zen kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Peace, quiet.
I can't imagine anyone being more relaxed than Casey is right now. I think he fell asleep in hour one.
Well, you bored him.
Yeah. I mean, he looked pretty
be
relaxed.
more interesting.
I can't imagine he'd go underwater as a diver and be more relaxed than he is listening to the show. So, actually listening to Scuba Radio is kind of like taking a dive in Casey's eyes. Is that a fair assumption there, Casey? Okay.
He has achieved maximum chill.
You think so? All right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody freaking cares. Nobody cares.
Okay, well, let's move on to Halloween then.
I could have used that today.
What do you mean?
If I had it on my phone.
Nobody cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Halloween is coming up here in a little over a week, right?
Yeah, I don't worship Satan.
What?
I don't celebrate the demons and the evil people.
That's not what Halloween is all about.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's about candy and scaring people.
Also not a big sugar dude.
Okay.
Okay, well, according to CJ, we just canceled that.
We just found the
holiday.
Scrooge of Halloween.
I mean, you guys could do whatever you want.
Jeez.
For me, it means I got to go sit in my driveway and pass out candy to the kids until they stop coming.
No, it's another reason to get your dive gear out. You know, one of the biggest.
I'm not putting anything on unless I'm going in the water.
You know, I think it's Lowe's has a massive commercial diver decoration that they put out there this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
You
really cool.
didn't buy it?
I was tempted. I almost bought it, and then I was like, "What? How much?"
I forgot. You're probably not allowed.
It's like 300 and some bucks.
Yeah,
I went up there to buy it, and somebody had already bought
What's
it.
it look like?
It's a commercial diver, like the Scooby-Doo
Mark V
possessed,
helmet.
yeah, diver. And I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty good." And then I thought, "Hey, you know what? I can just dress up as a diver, and then kind of get the same effect, wouldn't it?"
Sure.
Is that making you scary? Is that scaring you, CJ?
You're scaring me in other ways.
Oh, jeez.
If all you wore was your rash guard, yes, it'd be pretty scary.
Oh, jeez. Here we go with the nether regions again. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hey, man. Hey, what are you doing today? I don't know. I was kind of bored. Do you want to do something cool? Well, like what? We could go scuba dive. Oh, yeah, that sounds great. I've never done it before. Well, there's only a few things that you gotta do to be good at it, and it's really easy to learn. Here, I'll show you. Come with me.
Okay, everyone, let's get our gear on. Let's go for our dive. Tanks are right here.
Now, to be a scuba diver, it can be so much fun. Making memories and sharing good times in the sun. Descend with the quickness, equalize so you don't pop. To avoid decompression sickness, always make a safety stop. You know, gonna be a scuba diver. Gonna be an underwater survivor. I'm gonna be a scuba diver.
Already am. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
What?
Thanks a lot.
What, CJ? What?
That song you just played
Yeah?
is such an earworm. It's going to be stuck in my head. I need to go to the grocery store after this.
Yeah?
And I'm going to be singing it to myself. Just walking down the aisle with my car. Gonna be a scuba diver.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's not good because I can't control that. It's just going to come out.
The good news is nobody will be bothering you in line.
That's true.
They will want to distance themselves physically from
I will often crack myself up and just start laughing, and they're like, "What the hell is this guy laughing at?"
It could be worse, CJ. Greg could have played Baby Shark.
Okay, well, no, I'm not going to do that.
Nobody cares.
No, the thing is, though, Halloween is coming up, and you can use your dive gear for Halloween. I remind our listeners this every
you
year.
Don't need a costume. Just
take your wetsuit, fill it full of leaves in the yard or whatever you can put in it.
Well, that's like a statue or something. That's not. It's
like a body.
You're not going to wear it
headless
with
body.
leaves. That's not your costume.
No, you can make a headless corpse.
All right, but that's not. You're not wearing it.
I didn't say you would wear it.
You said make a costume.
Well, I mean, okay, give me a chance.
Which is it?
It's that would be the idea for a corpse.
Corpse?
Yeah. Yeah,
like
headless
dead
corpse.
diver?
Headless
That's
corpse
not good.
to throw in your yard.
You're not exactly
with your
promoting
wetsuit.
diving with a dead diver.
Well, this isn't about promoting diving during Halloween. This is about scaring the kids of your in your neighborhood.
Oh, scaring the bejesus out of
That's
everybody.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you want to take it to the next level and just dress, put on your whole gear, and then I would recommend, like, if it's not raining, just get out the hose and just, squirt yourself down, make it more legitimate.
Hose yourself down.
Yes. And I think the neighborhood kids.
Look, I'm a water fountain.
No, you're wet. You're like you just came up from a dive. And if you take it to the next level, like maybe you cover yourself with like dirty water, like sludge, like you just came up from a dive from the sewers.
Yeah, I don't
of
think
your
so.
neighborhood.
Ew.
No.
Hey, I'm just saying these are the creative, creepy ideas.
Go get some brown gravy.
Yeah. You could use for
jar.
Halloween and combine your love of diving.
Greg, if
and
you want to
Halloween
do that, I
and
will
see.
help you. Get ready, and I will dump it on your head. I will dump the gravy on your head.
I think it's only appropriate that you dress up as your alter ego, Cock Johnson.
I need like a chicken.
You need like a red and white bodysuit, like a morph suit with a giant flag, white stripe through it.
A beak.
And you guys stand there all superhero-like. I am Cock Johnson. Diving's my name. Or something.
I need a cape. Does he have a cape? I don't know.
I don't know. You're Cock Johnson. I don't know. I mean, you tell me. I mean, how am I supposed to know?
Wow. Happy Halloween, citizen.
I just see.
Would you like some candy?
Right. Now,
Who are you, mister? Are you Superman? No, I'm Cock Johnson.
Cock Johnson's my name, and diving's my game.
You should know, Greg, Cock Johnson is a winged superhero.
Winged.
Winged.
You would have wings?
Yeah, plate of buffalo wings.
Ooh,
He has
I
them with
like
him wherever he goes.
Man, I'm hungry.
Okay.
And the parents would say, son, don't take candy from that chicken.
Don't go to that house.
Yeah, you shouldn't be giving out hot wings to kids, but
Okay.
like an exception.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cock Johnson doesn't give out
Here
candy.
you are, boy. Have a hard-boiled egg. I've taken the shell off for you.
Okay. Well, now that
You got to arm yourself.
myself.
That's what I might do. And if they, the whole thing trick or treat, if you don't have any candy, then they're gonna egg your house.
Yeah.
I'm firing back. I'm gonna sit in the bushes with a bunch of eggs.
It's Cock Johnson.
Bring it on, bitches.
I just squeezed out a dozen. I'm ready for you. Okay, there's that. I do like the chicken wing thing, though. They say, I don't have candy for you, but here's a chicken wing from Cock Johnson.
You could hold out an egg in each hand. One could be hard boiled and one would be raw.
Yeah, guess
You'd
which
say
one.
trick or treat.
Yeah. I don't know. Vinny Two
And if
Tanks.
they guess wrong, smack it on their head.
Do you do the Halloween thing, Vinny? Or will you?
No.
Oh.
One time, I used to do it, but one time I got scared. Somebody knocked on my door, and it scared it. And
That's what they're supposed to do, Vinny. That's
and
how
they
Halloween
scared
works.
the hell out of me. So I said, from now on, man, I am not coming out of my. No, I just close all the windows. I mean, it scared me bad, and I said, I don't want to be scared again. So
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, you got scared on Halloween because someone knocked on your door?
It was
Well,
his bookie.
It was 5 adults, and they were all covered from head to toe. And I was by myself, and it just was intimidating to have these adults trick or treating, and I was by myself, and I just felt I was scared. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna.
What were they covered in? What were they dressed up
They
as?
had costumes on, and they were pretty scary. And I think they were older teenagers, but they weren't little kids, and it scared the hell out of me to see them at my door like that. And I was by myself, and I'm going, wow, this,
Wait,
all of
are
a sudden-
you telling me there wasn't anyone there with you
Do you have a
when they
spear
knocked
gun?
on your door?
I live alone, so I was giving out. I used
So
to
you
give
were,
out candy.
he was by himself.
Yeah,
and
and
he
it's
lives
just-
in California.
Yeah, I got
so
that
he
And
part.
can't
California,
defend
there's a lot
himself.
of crazy stuff.
Oh, you're thinking
Yeah,
home
it's probably the
invasion.
purge.
That's right.
Exactly. It
That's
scared
it.
the hell out of me, man. And I said, well, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. That was enough to convince me not to do it anymore.
Well,
Give
here's
us all your spare airs.
I mean,
Vinny,
it
here's the
just
thing.
scared me.
If you dress up as a diver and, maybe it's Cock Johnson, maybe you try to dress up as a super diver.
I just don't. I'm actually afraid of. I'm just afraid. Sorry. It's a crazy world out there. and that-
He travels, Vinny, you travel all over the world.
Bring your dive knife to the
It's a
door.
wild world.
Yeah, well, it's different when you live in the. I don't know.
I lived in L.A.
And when you
I
live in a
sympathize.
big city, you just never know what can happen to you. And I'm a pretty cautious guy.
Do you have a spear gun? Maybe you get a spear gun.
Oh, I have several. Yeah.
Well, what are you
Load
worried
'em
about?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer the door with a spear gun and full
Say
scuba
hello
gear.
to my little friend.
Yeah. Nah. I just as soon not risk it anymore. California, I don't know. LA area it's.
All right.
Are you downtown, or where are you?
No, I'm 14 miles east of downtown LA. It's a megalopolis like New York. All these small cities are backed up against it.
Yeah.
But it's just that lately crime has been rampant. I don't know if you listen to the news. California's had a lot of crime issues lately. So I don't.
Not according to our government.
No, but I just don't. I don't like to take.
All right, get out of your house, go diving, Benny. Just get in the water, get away from all the scary ghouls and goblins in Halloween.
It's
and then
like
you
what I
want
always say. I just want to dive.
Just want to dive. He said dive, not dive, just for the record.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do it for this. Till next time, remember, it's always better. Where, gang?
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
They all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.